All right, we're off to a good start for the week. Last week was pretty touch and go. I mean, there was a lot of untrustworthy price action, but this was pretty good. We had a lot of good follow throughs today. My accuracy on the call outs was very good. That's how you know that the market's shifting again. We're just not getting that stupid rejection jackknife shit. So let's go over my trades today. If we go to custom here, let me unlock this. You can see that the small cash account challenge now is at $619. I deposited 200 into this. We're now at almost 20K. I'm trying to speed up the margin process, so that'll conflate the numbers a little bit, but it'll be worth it in the long run because it'll just be more fun. So, BKKT, this stock is one that I alerted similarly to where I entered the first time. Reason being was it made this huge, incredible move in the pre-market. And you can see it's choppy, but we had this double top. So I wasn't expecting anything crazy, but after the open, when we rejected and we kind of recovered and we started to get into this area, that caught my attention. The MACD was open. We were starting to really get that U shape. I mean, there was obvious conviction that this stock wanted to continue higher. So I actually marked out the level. Let me do this for you real quick. I marked out the levels before I sent the alert, and it was targeting this. And I said that would be the entry point. It's pretty simple, right? I mean, you have general strength across the MACD, the fresh news, low float, volume was ascending, clear bullish sentiment above VWAP after manipulation, and you're just targeting the previous peak, I guess. I mean, sort of. It was kind of one of those ones that was on the cusp of being a little bit higher risk, but sometimes you got to take it. So I ended up punching order the second that we got this green candle. That's the micro pullback strategy candle. So if I grab the pen here, you can see we'll go yellow that we were above the 9 EMA. You see we pulled, we tested. See, that's why you got to trust the 9 EMA. Great support. We test, we hold, we push. This alone right here, that's a huge move because the spreads on this were so. I mean, a stock over $8 a share, that's where the money's made because the spreads are changing so rapidly. And a stock that's $1.50 to go to $2.50 is going to need so much more volume than a stock that is $13 going up $2. It'll do that in one candle. It'll go $8, $10 in one candle. That's just how they work. So this alone here would have been a huge move that you could have bought off the support of the 9 EMA. MACD's open. Your volume was picking up. Everything was there. Everything looked good. I was a little late to the jump, so I said, all right, entry at this blue line, essentially what I just drew, might have been a little lower, but we broke over the pullback. That's the micro pullback strategy. So my average was somewhere right here. You see, we chop, and I had a mental stop loss at a close in this area below the 9 EMA. And granted, I mean, it wasn't immediate, right? Like the result of the entry wasn't an immediate boom, 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 like I'm used to. So I did have to sit through this little bit of chop, but it was fine. I was also watching RELI at the time. I was watching that on the side chart, and I actually was in two positions at once, which I typically don't do, but it played out perfect. I made 400 and some dollars on this one, and then I made 200 some on RELI, and we'll go over that one too. So I traded this twice, as you can see. I also got this dip. I'll go over that. So I'm in, here's my average. We ride this chop, then we get that big burst through, and I sold right here when we started to wick, because in this market, when you see that the wick is starting to become more than a third of the candle's body, especially late in the candle's lifespan of that 1 minute, it's time to just part ways. Like you don't need to hold forever. And you can see I kept an eye on it, and we come back down. You can see our EMAs become very converged here. That's because the price action slowed down. You can see it in all aspects here. That dipped. This turned red. Our EMAs converged. Just slowed down. We get that big pop. We don't sustain. We don't go back up to new highs, which is fine. Take profits. That was 400 some bucks in the bank. We dip. We start to get into the zone of support. And this candle I bought again for these two candles here. That was that was all I had in mind. Now I could have held longer. I didn't care. I literally just wanted to squeeze a little bit extra. It held support. We got that big bullish volume. It started to pick up again. It was a borderline red MACD trade. I just felt good about it. The conviction was there. We held support, and I was right. And I sold after 2 minutes. Boom, boom. I was out on this candle somewhere in the wick. So can't complain there. Let's go into the other one that I alerted. RELI. This one was a nice one today. So the price action is less tangible, but I bought it in the let's go red. I bought it in the halt. So let's see. I can't see the price. I think this purple line is where I alerted entry. So it would have been this candle that the entry was sent to, which is pretty awesome. And a stock priced in this price range is not typical to put in a move like this, which is pretty cool. So you can see the volume. Checks out. Beautiful. MACD pretty much green the entirety of the move, which, makes sense. I mean, we had, I think, 2 halts, maybe 3, and they were, I think, only 5-minute halts, but we get this push, we get this dip. When we held here with that type of candle, that huge wick off the bottom, I mean, that's a huge sign. But like, you'll see a stock trend like this, then it'll candle like this, and then it'll do this, right? Because the buyers are there. They bought that candle. That was a big candle at one point. And the buyers came in and they absolutely smushed that thing back up. They bought it back up. So right there, the buyers already regained control, especially with this. And then you got this crossing. Everything was there. So I'm watching it. I thought it would double top. So I didn't take the entry there. We pushed through. I'm like, okay, I'm interested. I saw on the level 2 that our halt level was getting real close. So I wasn't going to punch it into a halt. Push, halt. Now I'm interested because we're above the 9. Volume was fine. We halted on very light selling volume, which is, it is what it is. So I put in my order on the halt down. And resumption was fine. And the second that it resumed, I was up quite a bit. And I sold right here. And that was that. And that was like a $200 some trade. And that finished the day somewhat. I think I'm going to try to catch some power hour trades with the crew. Probably another half hour. I still have 6.5K in buying power for the cash account. So I think we'll try to run up a few more numbers here. I mean, if we get a good power hour, I could see this being $1,000 day pretty quickly. So those are the trades. It's nice to see, we're getting less double top rejections. We're getting better volume profiles. We're getting just in general better follow through, that's all that was lacking last week, especially in the beginning of the week. It was you'd buy a A+ setup and either there was short selling that was hammering it down, there was just some kind of imbalance in the volume. There was always something. But we're back. We're getting that good follow through, and I like to see it so I can start being a little bit more aggressive maybe. I'll probably wait till about Wednesday before I make that decision because, you don't want to it could just been a hot Monday. I don't know. So we'll just gauge the market, somewhat resiliently and cautiously. And if Wednesday rolls around and we're still seeing good follow through, then I'll probably size up about a third more than I'm using now for, just the general scalp trades. As long as everything stays. That's how you got to play the market. You're going to size down when it's cold like last week. And then when you start to see it pick back up and you're getting better follow through, your accuracy is improving. I'll plug in my trades and review them. I've got to be 78-80% accurate on the month. So no reason not to size up. And the other good thing that comes with a situation like this where the market's getting better and you're getting moves like that is you can scale out now. Before it was like buy, hit the bid, you're out. But now if we're going to get this good follow through, then we can start entering, selling a quarter of it, selling a quarter of it, selling a quarter, and maybe leaving some runners, like that way you can maximize your green days. And as long as you're minimizing the red, then you should be fine. You should have nothing to worry about. So if you're a new viewer to the channel, I'm enjoying these. I really want to keep all these videos coming. So link to the Discord will be in the description. You should come join that. giveaway at 3,000 members. We're almost there. I think we're like 60 members away. So you can come, just whatever, come vibe in the community, come learn. Subscribe to this, and you can go find me on TikTok. We almost have 6,000 followers on there, which is dope. So that's my daily recap. Just to go back over here real quick, the total of the day right now is $619. We'll try to size up again. I think we'll catch one or two trades for Power Hour. So I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to leave a like.